Mathew Kanyamunyu, the prime suspect in the shooting of child rights activist Kenneth Akena, has reportedly confessed to the offence before Acholi elders. Meeting the elders on Saturday in Gulu, Mr. Kanyamunyu reportedly said he was remorseful of the action. However, questions abound about the lawsuit against him and two others will progress. To put things in perspective, we are now joined by Dr. Adrian Juuko. He is the Executive Director of Human Rights Awareness and Promotion Forum, Uganda. He joins me right now in studio. A very good afternoon, Mr. Jjuuko.
Good afternoon.
Okay, here we see Mr. Mathew Kanyamunyu going to apologize to the family of the deceased. But then what happens to the case in court?
Well, that's quite interesting. But what I would like to say is that nothing happens. You know, the case proceeds as it's been going on. The matter process has no effect whatsoever on the court proceedings, unless, and this is the instance where the prosecution decides to use it as evidence to show that actually Mathew Kanyamunyu admitted that he committed the crime. When they do that, then that adds value to the prosecution's case.
So this won't work in any way to exonerate Mr. Mathew Kanyamunyu, but it will work against him as far as the confession is concerned.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It works as a confession for now, but I think what's being done at the moment is to actually work at plea bargaining for Mathew Kanyamunyu. That is, the prosecution seems to be in a weak place if I look at it. They only have the evidence of the dying declaration and perhaps some other things, but no witness, I think, is going to say, I saw him shooting. That means that they are in quite a weak position. That means that this confession helps them, that if Mathew decides to actually admit that he committed this crime, then they can play at plea bargaining, which means he can actually confess to a lesser offense in light of a lesser punishment. And that's allowed under the current laws of Uganda.
So what happens if the family forgives Mr. Mathew Kanyamunyu in this case?
Under the law, nothing happens. The family is not the family's case.
Oh, yeah.
You know, murder is a crime against all of us. It's not just against the family of Akena. It's a crime against all of us. So when you commit a murder, the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, takes charge of your case on behalf of the whole country, not just the victims, not just the victim and his family. The victim and his family become witnesses in the matter. So when they withdraw, of course, if they refuse to come to court, they can be compelled to appear in court, by court. So, but I don't think they would refuse to come to court. But if they do, they are compelled because it's not their case, it's the case of the state. So for now, the case continues until plea bargaining is done, if that's what they're aiming at. Yes.
So will the family get justice at the end of the day?
Well, under Matoput, which is a good justice system, I would say, already justice is being done. Someone goes and says, well, I've consented that I did the thing, and I'm sorry, I'm remorseful. They recount all they went through. That's powerful. It's not just something simple for someone to actually sit down and do that. So if actually Kanyamunyu did what he said to have done, that is something very powerful. There's a punishment already, 10 cows and some goats that are being given. That's some kind of, nothing can replace a human life. Not even imprisonment of Kanyamunyu for life, not even his own death. By the if the state killed him, capital punishment, that won't still return the person who died. So for me, that kind of let's reconcile is much better than someone being sentenced to death. And so, however, at the same time, we are seeing the criminal justice system going on with its own processes. He will come to court, he already pleaded not guilty. That means the state has to proceed and prove that he actually committed this crime. And the plea bargaining now comes in to make things easier for the state, because Kanyamunyu may have a defense per se saying, I'm not the one, I was just a helper. And that's something that may be difficult for the state, because the state must prove beyond reasonable doubt that it's him who actually shot. And that's not an easy thing. So plea bargaining helps both parties if they actually go the route of plea bargaining. For now, as things stand, nothing. The case proceeds as it has been before.
So even though reconciliation takes center stage, the case will continue in court.
Absolutely.
Dr. Adrian Juuko, the Executive Director of the Human Rights Awareness and Promotion Forum of Uganda. Thank you very much for having made the time to speak to NTV.